Next thing we're going to do is our freeze-ahead minestrone soup. And you can see that the recipe on here, you've got a couple of different things that I want to show you on this recipe. One is you've got a base recipe that I've given you to go ahead and freeze, okay? And the reason being is we're going to put pasta, we're going to put green beans, we're going to put zucchini, and all kinds of great stuff in this at the very end. If you go ahead and put your zucchini in, and you go ahead and put your green beans in, and especially your pasta, once you freeze it and then you bring it back up to temperature, your pasta will be gone. It will disintegrate. If you put your pasta in, you don't cook it all the way, say, and you put it in. It'll be all right, but it's still going to be mushy. I recommend cooking your pasta about al dente. Does anybody know what that is? It's kind of got a bounce back to it. It's not mush. It's not like eating mashed potatoes or something that's mushy in your mouth. It's something that's got a little bit of a bounce back to it. It's done. It's just right on the verge of being done. So it's really, really good that way. So what we've done with this is we went ahead and made our base recipe. I'm going to take the lid off of this so you can smell. Now this is one of my favorite soups in the whole world right here is minestrone soup. It's real easy to do. It's basically an Italian vegetable soup is what you're making with this. And we've taken our saucepan over medium heat, even though it says mean heat in your recipe. There's one lady here I knew would catch that, and she did. And just for that, I didn't make my vegetarian lasagna tonight. I made chicken lasagna. So, and in that lasagna recipe, folks, there's only one ingredient that keeps that from being vegetarian, and that is chicken. You know, if you're going totally vegetarian, you're going vegan, and you don't eat cheese and stuff like that, well, I'm sorry. More for me to eat, okay? So, but the only thing that keeps that from being a vegetarian dish is you just add a little chicken to it, is a little bit of protein. You could add tofu to it. I don't know why you would, but you could add protein. You could add protein by using tofu to it. So you'd use a firm protein though. You'd use a firm tofu and in that, and you would put it in right as you get making your mixture. You wouldn't really cook it. You just put it in for the protein value of it. But what we're going to do is we've taken our onions and our celery and our carrots and all of our vegetables, and we put them in and we've cooked them for about 5 minutes, and that means they've been lightly browned. These have went beyond the step that we took earlier, being translucent, and we've cooked them just a little bit longer to give them kind of a roasted flavor to them. And then we're going to take our garlic and we're going to put it in, and once you add the garlic to this, folks, and when you're using garlic, I love garlic. I had garlic ice cream the other day. Anybody ever heard of it? It's like chocolate covered bacon. Don't knock it till you try it. Okay, it was sweet. I mean, it didn't taste like garlic, but it was really sweet. It was. You could tell there was garlic in it, but it wasn't overpowering or anything. So you go ahead and do that, but it was really good. So you want to take your garlic, and when you put it in, you want to stir it constantly. Okay, you want to keep it from burning. That's what you're doing. And after you put it in, you want to get it going. Then you're going to add your chicken stocks and your tomatoes with juice. Do not drain the juice off of your tomatoes. I use Food Club brand diced tomatoes. This is a no salt added. The reason being is we're going to add salt in many different ways, and we're even sprinkled a little bit of salt in here when we're sauteing our vegetables to make them translucent and to brown them up a little bit better. And so we're going to add our tomatoes and our kidney beans. Now I do rinse my kidney beans off, because once that kidney bean, that juice that's in the can, it's kind of got a canned flavor to it. I like to take them and cook them off and do that. And then we're going to cook this. Now at this point, after we've done this, in order to store this in your freezer, go ahead and cool it down. Do not ever put it in the container and stick it in the freezer, because what's going to happen is your container is going to sweat, and that also can cause freezer burn. So you want to put it in your container, let it cool down in your pot, put it in your container, then stick it in your freezer, leaving about 1 inch headroom again to ensure it doesn't come out of your container. And you put this in, you can freeze it up to a month. Okay? After you freeze this, the night before you're getting ready to serve it, you take your soup, if it's in the container, and you transfer it to your refrigerator to defrost. You put your soup back in a 3 or 4 quart pot, depending on how you have it separated. You might have 2 cups separated. And then that's when we're going to add our green beans. You see here we have fresh green beans. Basically all we want to do with these green beans is we want to cut them up and we want to blanch them and get them hot. Again, not to cook them to death. I like to, when we're putting them in the soup, you get a lot more and that way you're not eating a big bean. I've cut the tips off of these, I've washed them, I've done all that ahead of time. And we're just going to add these into our soup, and then we're going to turn our heat back up to about a medium heat, medium-low heat. And we're going to add this in. Now this is the next day, or this is the next week, or this is the next month after you've frozen, after you've frozen your soup, you're going to add these beans in, and you're going to stir them in so they'll all get good and hot. Again, I like my beans a little crunchy. I like texture. You like texture? I seen the look on your face, and I realized that she did not agree with that statement, but I do. I like them. I like raw green beans. I just like to go to the garden and pick them and eat them. And peas, the same way. I love them. You can use canned green beans. I like to use fresh, just for the simple fact that I just like them. If you use canned, put them in right before you're getting ready to serve it. For a simple fact, they've already been cooked. They're already soft. And I didn't add these in. Add these in till the very end on purpose because I want you all to try them a little bit crunchy. You're probably going to say, hey, I don't like it. If you don't like it, that's fine. But give it a chance, try it, see what you think. The next thing we're going to add is zucchini. And zucchini, by nature, is what? Firm, hard, soft. That's why we're waiting till the very end to put it in, too. This is the next day preparation. This is after you've done that. You just want to take and cut your tips off of your zucchini. Feed them to your rabbit. My guinea pig loves zucchini, or my son's guinea pig loves zucchini. And then I'm going to take these and I'm going to cut them into quarters. I leave skin on. These have been pre-washed. And I'm just going to dice them up into pretty good chunks. Remember all the food safety I told you all about how to use a knife and how not to cut yourself? I was in the emergency room the other day. Had to have six stitches because I cut myself. Yeah, cut the whole top of my finger off. And so it can happen to the best of us. No, that was the red sauce lasagna I was using. I'm kidding, it wasn't either. That was bad. I should not have said that. Lord, forgive me. We're going to add our zucchini in. This zucchini is going to be like a sponge too. What this is going to do is it's going to soak up all the flavor of everything that's around it. And it's not a real moist, not a real wet ingredient. The zucchini's not. Again, I like to, and right when we get ready to add everything in and get to the end, you can see our white chili. See how it's bubbling? And that is getting really good. We're going to turn the heat down. That's actually low heat right there. And it sure doesn't look like it. But the reason being is I had the lid on it. And the lid is going to allow it to cook a whole lot better that way. Boy, that smells really good. So we're going to add this in. We're going to jack our heat up on our minestrone soup. Again, Italian vegetable soup. We're going to let that sit there for a minute. You can add that with about anything you want to, okay? You can use any vegetables you want to. I use canned tomatoes. I was asking if you could use canned vegetables. I use canned tomatoes in it. I cook them till they're a little bit tender, but not till it's soggy, okay? Until it's, but the reason I put these vegetables in at the last minute today, I want you to taste the vegetables, okay? A lot of times we cook vegetables, especially in country cooking. Hey, and I'm as country as it comes. My nickname was Bubba growing up, and I rode bulls. I worked on farms. I did all that stuff. I'm as country as it comes, and I love green beans cooked to death, okay? But I got to eating these crunchy like this too, and I want us to taste the vegetables in it a little bit and be able to experience that. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pre-cooked pasta. I cooked this pasta up. I'm not going to attempt to say it. I'll hold it here so the people at home can see what kind of pasta it is. It's a ditalini, okay? So if that's how you say it, I'm more comfortable saying orzo than I am ditalini, if that's not how you say it. This is an orzo. It's made by the company called Da Vinci, our food club brand. We do not have it in a food club brand. But this is like a chopped up macaroni, and this is like a rice-shaped macaroni. It looks like rice is what it looks like. I personally like either one. I like the chopped up macaroni. We'll just say it that way better. when I'm making it in soups and stuff, because it does have a hole in it and it does trap a lot of your flavor and stuff in it better once it's been cooking. So we're going to let this go ahead. Our minestrone has started cooking and started back to heat. And we're going to add this in. And we're not going to dump it in the floor. Now this pasta has been cooked, and for time's sake tonight we pre-cooked it, but I would recommend when you cook your pasta to cook it actually in your soup. The reason being, it's going to be a sponge also. It's going to absorb the flavors also to what you're cooking. With it being pre-cooked like this, it's kind of hard for it to absorb it as much, but you'll get the general idea of this. And you can see our green beans have turned a real bright green, and our zucchini starting to cook up. So we're going to cover this up, and we're going to take any questions we might have here real quick about what we've done tonight. You can see our chicken chili, how it is thickened up from just that little bit. See how thick it's got? And our beans are still firm and not all made to mush. So, is there any questions about anything we've done tonight?